Commander Sarah Chen stood at the helm of the U.S. Endeavour, her dark eyes fixed on the tactical display where dozens of red dots signaled the approaching Arcadian fleet. The massive warships moved with mechanical precision, their crystalline hulls gleaming against the backdrop of stars. Behind the Endeavour lay the Helios Gateway, humanity's most vital hyperspace corridor, and the only escape route for thousands of civilian ships fleeing from the outer colonies. "Status report," Chen commanded, her voice steady despite the weight of responsibility pressing down on her shoulders. Lieutenant Marcus Rivera's fingers danced across his console. "Civilian evacuation is at 67%, Commander. We need another 40 minutes to get everyone through the gateway." Time they didn't have. The Arcadians would reach weapons range in less than 15 minutes. The Endeavour was all that stood between them and the helpless evacuation fleet. "Engineering, what's the status of the Phantom Drive?" Chen asked, referring to the experimental system that made the Endeavour unique among Earth's fleet. Chief Engineer Yuki Tanaka's voice crackled through the comm. "Ready but untested in actual combat, Commander. The quantum field matrices are stable, but I can't guarantee they'll hold under heavy fire." Chen nodded, more to herself than her crew. The Endeavour was humanity's latest achievement in space warfare, a testbed for technologies born from desperate innovation. While the Arcadians had spent centuries perfecting their crystalline technologies, humanity had been forced to think differently, to evolve faster. "Multiple quantum signatures detected," announced Tactical Officer James Wong. "Arcadian dreadnought confirmed. Their flagship, the Starbreaker, is leading the formation." The tactical display updated, showing the massive Arcadian vessel. It dwarfed the Endeavour, its crystalline structure housing enough firepower to reduce a small moon to atoms. But size wasn't everything, as humanity had learned through countless battles for survival. "Open a channel," Chen ordered. "All frequencies." The bridge crew exchanged knowing looks. They'd all heard stories of the Arcadians' notorious pride, their belief in their technological superiority. It was time to use that against them. A harsh, synthesized voice filled the bridge. "Human vessel, this is High Commander Vexthor of the Arcadian Empire. Your presence is an insult to this space. Remove yourself or be atomized." Chen allowed herself a small smile. "This is Commander Sarah Chen of the U.S. Endeavour. We're conducting a peaceful evacuation of civilian populations. Stand down and allow us to complete our mission." The response was immediate and predictable. "Peaceful? Your species knows nothing of peace. You are vermin who refuse to accept their proper place in the galaxy's hierarchy. Your primitive vessel cannot hope to stand against the might of the Empire." "Primitive?" Chen's voice carried just the right note of amusement. "That's an interesting assessment, High Commander. Care to test it?" The Arcadian ships continued their advance, their formation perfect, their coordination flawless. Too flawless, too predictable. "All hands, battle stations," Chen commanded. "Initiate Phantom Protocol Alpha. Let's show them what primitive looks like." The Endeavour's experimental systems hummed to life, quantum fields beginning to twist reality itself around the ship. Everything they'd learned about Arcadian sensors, everything they knew about their combat doctrine, had gone into this moment. "They're charging weapons," Wong reported. "Multiple targeting locks detected." Chen's hand tightened on the railing. "Hold position. Engineering, prepare to initiate quantum field collapse on my mark. Weapons, load the special package into all missile tubes." The bridge crew worked with practiced efficiency, each member knowing their role in the desperate gambit they were about to attempt. The Arcadian fleet drew closer, their weapons charging, their victory seemingly assured. 20 seconds to weapons range," Wong announced. Chen watched the tactical display, waiting for the perfect moment. The Arcadians' formation was designed to maximize their advantages. Overwhelming firepower, coordinated strikes, and superior shields. But like all perfect systems, it had one fatal flaw. It assumed the enemy would play by the same rules. 10 seconds. "Remember," Chen addressed her crew, "we're not just fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for every civilian ship behind us, for every colony that needs more time to evacuate. We're fighting for humanity's future." The Arcadian ships entered weapons range, their crystalline hulls blazing with stored energy. High Commander Vexthor's voice returned, dripping with contempt. "Your destruction will serve as an example to all who defy the Empire." Chen's response was quiet, meant only for her crew. "Let's show them why humanity never goes quietly. Execute Phantom Protocol." Now, the battle for the Helios Gateway was about to begin, and the Arcadians were about to learn that primitive didn't mean what they thought it meant. The Endeavor shimmered and vanished. For a fraction of a second, the Arcadian fleet's perfect formation faltered as their target seemingly ceased to exist. Then chaos erupted across their sensor networks as 5 identical human vessels materialized at different points around their formation. "Phantom Protocol successful," Wang reported, barely containing his excitement. "Their targeting systems are attempting to lock onto all 5 signatures simultaneously." Commander Chen allowed herself a moment of satisfaction. The Phantom Drive wasn't just a cloaking device. It was a quantum mirage generator, creating multiple quantum-entangled images of the Endeavor, each one indistinguishable from the real thing. "Their fleet is adjusting formation," Rivera announced. "They're splitting their fire solutions between all targets, exactly as planned." The Arcadians' hive-mind tactical network was their greatest strength, allowing their ships to coordinate with machine-like precision. But that same network was now forcing them to divide their attention. "Signal from the Starbreaker," Wang called out. "They're demanding we stop our primitive deception immediately." "Send them static," Chen ordered. "Engineering, begin Phase 2. Chief Tanaka's voice came through clearly. "Initiating quantum cascade. Fair warning, Commander. We've never tried this with real weapons fire." The Endeavor's quantum field began to pulse, each of its mirror images doing the same. To Arcadian sensors, it would appear as if the human vessel was simultaneously occupying multiple points in spacetime, making it impossible to determine which signature was real. "Multiple energy spikes detected," Wang reported. "They're firing." Crystalline beams of devastating energy lanced out from the Arcadian ships, targeting each phantom signature. The space around the Endeavor lit up like a cosmic fireworks display as the beams passed harmlessly through 4 of the images. "Direct hit on our starboard shield," Rivera called out. "Shields holding at 82%. Chen nodded grimly. "Begin evasive pattern Delta 7. Tactical. Target their lead destroyer with the special package." The Endeavor's missile tubes opened, launching what appeared to be standard anti-ship missiles. The Arcadian point defense systems reacted instantly, energy beams reaching out to swat the primitive projectiles from space. 3 seconds to intercept, Wang counted down. 2, 1. The missiles detonated before reaching their target, but instead of conventional explosions, they released clouds of quantum-charged particles. The particles, designed specifically for this moment, interfered with the Arcadian ship's crystalline structure. "Direct hit with quantum interference field," Tanaka reported. "Their crystalline matrices are showing disruption patterns. Their energy distribution networks are becoming unstable." On the tactical display, the targeted destroyer's perfect crystalline form began to flicker, its energy readings fluctuating wildly. The Arcadian response was immediate. Nearby ships moved to support their damaged companion, their formation shifting to compensate. "They're adapting faster than expected," Chen observed. "Time to show them our next trick. Engineering, prepare for quantum jump sequence." The Endeavor's phantom images began to move independently, each executing different attack patterns. The real ship, meanwhile, used the confusion to maneuver closer to the Arcadian formation. "High Commander Vexthor is broadcasting again," Rivera announced. This time, the synthesized voice carried an edge of frustration. "Your technological parlor tricks cannot save you, human. The Empire's supremacy cannot be challenged by such desperate measures." Chen's response was to order another volley of quantum disruptor missiles, this time targeting multiple ships simultaneously. As the Arcadian fleet struggled to track 5 seemingly identical vessels executing different attack patterns, their perfect formation began to break down. Civilian evacuation status, Chen asked. 78% complete, Rivera reported. We need 20 more minutes. 20 minutes against the most powerful fleet in known space. Chen studied the tactical display, watching as the Arcadian ships tried to maintain their coordination while dealing with multiple phantom targets and degrading crystalline matrices. Their central command and control network is showing signs of straying, Wang reported. The quantum interference is causing cascading errors in their tactical calculations. Chen leaned forward in her chair. Time to increase that strain. Engineering, prepare for quantum resonance pulse. Tactical, load all tubes with standard kinetic penetrators. The bridge crew worked with practiced efficiency, understanding their commander's strategy. While the Arcadians were distracted by quantum ghosts and destabilized systems, they would demonstrate why humanity had never abandoned primitive kinetic weapons. Ready on your mark, Tanaka confirmed. Chen watched as the massive Starbreaker tried to reorganize its fleet, its crystalline hull still gleaming with barely contained power. The Arcadians had spent centuries perfecting their technology, making it more elegant, more sophisticated. But they'd forgotten one of warfare's most important lessons. Sometimes the simplest solution was the most effective. Execute quantum pulse, Chen ordered. Follow immediately with kinetic strike package Alpha. Let's remind them why humanity is still standing after all these years. The real battle was about to begin, and the Arcadians were about to learn that technological superiority meant nothing against human ingenuity and determination. The quantum resonance pulse erupted from the Endeavour like a silent supernova, its effects rippling through space-time. On the tactical display, Chen watched as the Arcadian fleet's crystalline ships began to shimmer, their perfect formations distorting as quantum interference played havoc with their systems. Pulse successful, Tanaka reported from engineering. Their crystalline matrices are experiencing severe quantum destabilization. But Commander, our own phantom drive, is showing signs of strain. Chen had expected this. The phantom drive was pushing the boundaries of known physics, and like all experimental technology, it had its limits. Begin power cycling sequence. Prepare for Ghost Protocol implementation. The bridge crew exchanged knowing looks. The Ghost Protocol was perhaps the riskiest gambit in their arsenal, a combination of quantum deception and psychological warfare designed specifically for the hive mind psychology of the Arcadians. Multiple impacts detected, Wang announced as the kinetic penetrators found their marks. Their outer defensive line is showing significant structural damage. Their point defense systems weren't calibrated for solid projectiles. The Arcadian response was immediate but uncoordinated. Their ships fired brilliant beams of energy that sliced through space, but with their targeting systems compromised by quantum interference, most shots went wide. Now, Chen ordered, initialize Ghost Protocol. Lieutenant Rivera, begin transmission sequence Alpha. The Endeavour's communication array came to life, broadcasting on all frequencies. But instead of traditional communications, it sent carefully crafted quantum-encoded signals designed to interact with the Arcadian hive mind network. Ghost Protocol active, Rivera confirmed, transmitting false tactical data directly into their command network. On the tactical display, the effect was subtle at first. Individual Arcadian ships began to respond to threats that didn't exist, their movements becoming erratic as false sensor data corrupted their shared consciousness. High Commander Vexthor is attempting to re-establish control, Wang reported. Their flagship is broadcasting override commands. Chen smiled grimly. Perfect. Engineering, initiate quantum echo sequence. The Endeavour's phantom images began to multiply exponentially, each one broadcasting its own set of false data. To the Arcadian fleet's sensors, it would appear as if they were surrounded by hundreds of human vessels, each one executing different attack patterns. Their formation is breaking down completely, Rivera announced, excitement creeping into his voice. Individual ships are starting to act independently of central control. This was the key weakness they'd discovered in the Arcadian command structure. Their hive mind technology was incredibly efficient, but relied entirely on shared, trusted data. When that trust broke down, their unified response shattered. Civilian evacuation status, Chen asked, keeping her focus on the larger mission. 89% complete. Rivera responded. 10 more minutes required. The Starbreaker's massive form suddenly lit up with energy, its crystalline structure pulsing with power. Human deception ends now. Vex Thor's voice boomed across all channels, initiating total spectrum purge. All hands, brace for impact, Chen ordered. Engineering, divert all available power to quantum shields. The Arcadian flagship released a massive energy wave designed to clear all quantum interference from the battlefield. But Chen had anticipated this move. As the wave approached, the Endeavor's real position was revealed, directly beneath the Starbreaker's ventral armor. Execute attack pattern Omega, Chen commanded. All tubes, fire quantum-laced penetrators. Target their main power distribution nodes. The Endeavor's weapons released their payload at point-blank range, the specially designed projectiles carrying quantum disruptors deep into the Starbreaker's crystalline structure before detonating. Direct hits confirmed, Wang reported. Their power grid is destabilizing. Secondary explosions detected throughout their central core. The massive Arcadian flagship began to list, its perfect crystalline form now marred by spreading fractures. But Chen knew better than to celebrate early. Even a wounded Arcadian dreadnought was more than capable of destroying her ship. Their remaining fleet elements are attempting to compensate, Rivera warned, detecting power buildups in multiple vessels. Chen studied the tactical display intently. The Arcadian fleet was in disarray, their formations broken, their coordinated response shattered, but they still outnumbered and outgunned the Endeavor significantly. Begin final phase, she ordered. Engineering, prepare for quantum inversion. Tactical, load our last special package. It's time to show them why humanity never developed a hive mind. The battle was reaching its climax, and the true power of human individualism was about to be demonstrated to an enemy that had forgotten the value of independent thought. The quantum resonance pulse erupted from the Endeavor like a silent supernova, its effects rippling through space-time. On the tactical display, Chen watched as the Arcadian fleet's crystalline ships began to shimmer, their perfect formations distorting as quantum interference played havoc with their systems. Pulse successful, Tanaka reported from engineering. Their crystalline matrices are experiencing severe quantum destabilization. But Commander, our own phantom drive, is showing signs of strain. Chen had expected this. The phantom drive was pushing the boundaries of known physics, and like all experimental technology, it had its limits. Begin power cycling sequence. Prepare for Ghost Protocol implementation. The bridge crew exchanged knowing looks. The Ghost Protocol was perhaps the riskiest gambit in their arsenal, a combination of quantum deception and psychological warfare designed specifically for the hive mind psychology of the Arcadians. Multiple impacts detected, Wang announced as the kinetic penetrators found their marks. Their outer defensive line is showing significant structural damage. Their point defense systems weren't calibrated for solid projectiles. The Arcadian response was immediate but uncoordinated. Their ships fired brilliant beams of energy that sliced through space, but with their targeting systems compromised by quantum interference, most shots went wide. Now, Chen ordered, initialize Ghost Protocol. Lieutenant Rivera, begin transmission sequence Alpha. The Endeavor's communication array came to life, broadcasting on all frequencies. But instead of traditional communications, it sent carefully crafted quantum-encoded signals designed to interact with the Arcadian hive mind network. Ghost Protocol active, Rivera confirmed, transmitting false tactical data directly into their command network. On the tactical display, the effect was subtle at first. Individual Arcadian ships began to respond to threats that didn't exist, their movements becoming erratic as false sensor data corrupted their shared consciousness. High Commander Vexthor is attempting to re-establish control, Wang reported. Their flagship is broadcasting override commands. Chen smiled grimly. Perfect. Engineering. Initiate quantum echo sequence. The Endeavor's phantom images began to multiply exponentially, each one broadcasting its own set of false data. To the Arcadian fleet's sensors, it would appear as if they were surrounded by hundreds of human vessels, each one executing different attack patterns. Their formation is breaking down completely, Rivera announced, excitement creeping into his voice. Individual ships are starting to act independently of central control. This was the key weakness they discovered in the Arcadian command structure. Their hive mind technology was incredibly efficient, but relied entirely on shared, trusted data. When that trust broke down, their unified response shattered. Civilian evacuation status, Chen asked, keeping her focus on the larger mission. 89% complete, Rivera responded. 10 more minutes required. The Starbreaker's massive form suddenly lit up with energy, its crystalline structure pulsing with power. Human deception ends now. Vexthor's voice boomed across all channels, initiating total spectrum purge. All hands, brace for impact, Chen ordered. Engineering, divert all available power to quantum shields. The Arcadian flagship released a massive energy wave designed to clear all quantum interference from the battlefield. But Chen had anticipated this move. As the wave approached, the Endeavor's real position was revealed, directly beneath the Starbreaker's ventral armor. Execute attack pattern Omega, Chen commanded. All tubes, fire quantum-laced penetrators. Target their main power distribution nodes. The Endeavor's weapons released their payload at point-blank range, the specially designed projectiles carrying quantum disruptors deep into the Starbreaker's crystalline structure before detonating. Direct hits confirmed, Wang reported. Their power grid is destabilizing. Secondary explosions detected throughout their central core. The massive Arcadian flagship began to list, its perfect crystalline form now marred by spreading fractures. But Chen knew better than to celebrate early. Even a wounded Arcadian dreadnought was more than capable of destroying her ship. Their remaining fleet elements are attempting to compensate, Rivera warned, detecting power buildups in multiple vessels. Chen studied the tactical display intently. The Arcadian fleet was in disarray, their formations broken, their coordinated response shattered. But they still outnumbered and outgunned the Endeavor significantly. Begin final phase, she ordered. Engineering, prepare for quantum inversion. Tactical, load our last special package. It's time to show them why humanity never developed a hive mind. The battle was reaching its climax, and the true power of human individualism was about to be demonstrated to an enemy that had forgotten the value of independent thought. The quantum inversion pulse from the Endeavor rippled through space, transforming the battlefield into a realm where normal physics bent and warped. The remaining Arcadian ships, their crystalline structures already compromised by previous attacks, began to experience the full impact of humanity's desperation-bred innovation. Quantum inversion successful, Tanaka reported, her voice strained. But the Phantom Drive is redlining. We can't maintain this level of field manipulation for more than 5 minutes. 5 minutes to either win or lose everything. Chen watched as the Arcadian fleet struggled to adapt to an environment where their carefully calculated formations and tactics became actively harmful. Their ships are experiencing cascading quantum resonance, Wang announced. The crystalline matrices are becoming increasingly unstable. The Starbreaker, though damaged, remained operational. Its massive form turned ponderously toward the Endeavor, weapon ports glowing with gathered energy. Your species' obsession with chaos will be your downfall. Vexthor's voice thundered across the comm. Order always prevails. Status of the special package, Chen asked, ignoring the Arcadian commander's pronouncement. Armed and ready, Wang confirmed. But we'll only get one shot at this. Chen nodded. Engineering. Divert all remaining power to forward shields. Helm. Plot collision course with the Starbreaker's command section. The bridge fell silent as her orders registered. Rivera broke it first. Commander, at this range, even if we survive the impact, we won't survive doing nothing. Chen cut him off. Civilian evacuation status. 95% complete. But Commander, the remaining ships include hospital vessels and civilian transports carrying thousands. Then we give them their chance. Chen opened the ship-wide comm. All hands, this is the Commander. Secure all stations for extreme maneuvers. What we do here today will be remembered as long as humanity survives. And we will survive. The Endeavour surged forward, its quantum field creating a wake of distorted space-time. The Arcadian fleet, their formations already in chaos, scattered before its advance. But the Starbreaker held its ground, its weapons charging for a killing blow. Multiple targeting locks, Wam reported. They're committing everything to this shot. Hold course, Chen ordered. Engineering, prepare to execute Protocol Lazarus on my mark. Protocol Lazarus was named after the biblical figure who rose from the dead, a fitting title for their final gambit. The special package wasn't just another weapon. It was a quantum bomb designed to turn the Arcadians' greatest strength into their ultimate weakness. Enemy flagship firing. Wam's warning came just as space lit up with crystalline energy. The Endeavour's shields flared brilliantly as multiple beams struck home. Alarms screamed across the bridge as systems overloaded and failed. Shields critical, Rivera shouted over the chaos. Hull breaches on decks 3 through 7. Maintain course, Chen commanded, her knuckles white on her chair's armrests. Engineering, status of Protocol Lazarus. Ready. Tanaka's voice was barely audible over the sound of failing systems. But Commander, at this range, we'll be caught in the quantum backwash. Better caught than dead. Chen watched as the Starbreaker grew larger on their view screen, its crystalline surface now showing signs of internal chaos as the quantum inversion field took its toll. All hands, brace for final approach. The distance between the ships closed rapidly. The Starbreaker's weapons continued to fire, each shot taking another piece of the Endeavour's failing defenses. But Chen had counted on Arcadian pride. They would want to destroy the human ship at close range, to demonstrate their superiority one final time. Energy spike. Wam's warning came just as the Starbreaker's entire forward section began to glow with gathered power. They're channeling everything they have into one shot. Now, Chen's order cut through the chaos. Execute Protocol Lazarus. The special package launched, a small projectile that looked insignificant against the massive crystalline dreadnought. But as it reached the midpoint between the ships, it detonated in a way that defied conventional physics. The quantum bomb didn't explode outward. It imploded, creating a singularity that began to draw in quantum energy from its surroundings. The Starbreaker's gathered power, instead of releasing in a devastating attack, was pulled into the growing quantum vortex. Quantum cascade initiated, Tanaka reported in awe. Their crystalline matrix is collapsing in on itself. The massive Arcadian flagship began to break apart, its perfect crystalline structure turning against it as quantum resonance turned order into chaos. But the Endeavour wasn't safe yet. All hands, Chen's voice remained steady despite the destruction surrounding them. Prepare for emergency quantum jump. We're not done showing them what humanity can do. The battle was reaching its final moments, and the universe was about to witness the full extent of human determination to survive. The quantum vortex expanded between the two ships, its swirling energies distorting the very fabric of space-time. The Endeavour's hull groaned under the strain as competing gravitational forces threatened to tear it apart. Emergency jump in 3 seconds, Rivera announced, his fingers dancing across controls that were more patches and jury-rigged bypasses than original equipment now. 2, 1. The Endeavour vanished in a flash of quantum energy, reappearing 2,000 kilometers away. From this new vantage point, the crew watched as their gambit played out against the massive Arcadian flagship. "The quantum cascade is accelerating," Tanaka reported from engineering. "Their crystalline matrix is achieving perfect resonance with the vortex, exactly as we predicted." The Starbreaker's elegant form was being consumed from within, its own power turned against it. Fractures spread across its crystalline surface like cracks in ice, each one glowing with unstable quantum energy. "Remaining Arcadian vessels are attempting to retreat," Wang announced. "Their command network has completely collapsed." Chen leaned forward in her chair. "Broadcast on all frequencies, clear channel. This is Commander Chen to all Arcadian vessels. What you're witnessing is the result of quantum resonance technology. Your crystalline ships are vulnerable to it. Withdraw now, or we'll be forced to demonstrate this capability on your entire fleet." For a long moment, there was silence. The Starbreaker continued its spectacular destruction, its death throes lighting up space with quantum fire. Then, one by one, the remaining Arcadian ships began to turn away. "They're powering down weapons," Wang confirmed. "Multiple ships entering quantum jump coordinates." "Civilian evacuation status?" Chen asked, keeping her focus on their primary mission. 100% complete," Rivera reported with a smile. "Last transport cleared the Helios gateway 30 seconds ago." A cheer went up from the bridge crew, quickly silenced as Chen raised her hand. "We're not done yet." "Engineering, status of our systems." "The Phantom drive is offline," Tanaka replied. "Half our weapon systems are dead. Shields are at 12%, and I'm keeping the main reactor stable with what might actually be duct tape. But we're alive." "Human vessel," a new voice came across the comm, different from Vexthor's. "This is Sub-Commander Caxtal. We request terms for withdrawal." Chen allowed herself a small smile. "Terms are simple. Leave human space, all of it. We've shared this technology with every human world. Every colony, every outpost has the means to replicate what you've seen here today." It was a bluff, of course. The quantum technology that had won this battle was experimental, barely understood, and had nearly destroyed the ship that carried it. But the Arcadians didn't know that. "You would share such power?" Caxtal's voice carried genuine surprise. "Among all your worlds? That's the difference between us," Chen replied. "You seek perfect order, centralized control. Humanity thrives on chaos, on individual innovation. Every human world, every colony, develops its own solutions, its own technologies. We share them, adapt them, improve them. We don't need a hive mind to work together." The remaining Arcadian ships began to disappear into quantum space, retreating from a battle that had shattered their assumptions about humanity's capabilities. "Damage control teams reporting in," Rivera announced. "Multiple hull breaches sealed, emergency repairs underway. Chief Tanaka says she can have us moving under our own power in 20 minutes. Chen nodded, finally allowing herself to relax slightly. "Send word to Earth Command. The Helios gateway is secure. And add a footnote, we're going to need a lot more duct tape." The bridge crew laughed, the sound of pure relief after hours of tension. They had faced the most powerful fleet in known space and emerged victorious, not through superior technology or overwhelming force, but through human ingenuity, adaptability, and the willingness to risk everything on untested theories and desperate gambles. "Orders, Commander?" Wang asked. Chen looked at her tactical display, where the quantum vortex was finally beginning to dissipate, leaving behind the scattered remains of what had once been the pride of the Arcadian fleet. "Plot a course for the nearest repair facility," she ordered, "and download all combat data. Every human world needs to know what we learned here today. Not just about Arcadian weaknesses, but about our own strengths." As the Endeavor limped away from the battlefield, Chen reflected on what they had truly accomplished. They had done more than win a battle or save an evacuation fleet. They had demonstrated why humanity, despite its technological limitations and fractious nature, had survived and thrived in a hostile universe. It wasn't about having the most advanced technology or the perfect battle plan. It was about innovation, adaptation, and the uniquely human ability to turn apparent weaknesses into unexpected strengths. The Arcadians had sought perfection in unity and order. Humanity's strength lay in its chaos, its diversity, its endless capacity to surprise. "Message from Earth Command," Rivera announced. "They're asking for a preliminary report on the effectiveness of the experimental systems." Chen smiled. "Tell them the experiments were successful. And tell them we're going to need a bigger testing ground. Something tells me we're not done innovating yet." The stars stretched before them, infinite possibilities in an infinite universe, and humanity, with its imperfect ships and imperfect plans and imperfect unity, was ready to face whatever came next, not with overwhelming force or superior technology, but with the one weapon that had never failed them: the uniquely human ability to look at the impossible and say, "Let's try it anyway."